Can I help you, ma'ams?
He's American. Oh my God, we're Americans. Hi, Emily, this is Linda.
Hi,
you don't even understand the ordeal that we have just been through. We really need to get to the U.S. consulate in Bogota as soon as possible, kind of. So if you know the easiest way.
The easy way. They were laughing at something else. Oh, you got mountain ranges to the north. Jungles to the east and west. Well, the mighty one, the river. Well, she's to the south. There is no easy trek. There's a reason they call Colombia the sack of the Jaguar. Tell you what, I've got a slow boat headed downriver. I can take east along the Amazon and stretch it up north. Name's Roger Simmons. Boat stock's just out back. Crew's getting her seaworthy as we speak, so I'll check in with them, then come back for you.
Thank you.
Senor! Chicken wings for the ladies.
Give it up for Chris Meloni, guys. Let's hear it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the movie.
You guys weren't the same guys who were out there looking for autographs and stuff, right?
No.
Okay.
You more comfortable?
Right. Okay.
Are you comfortable with the autograph hounds or no?
Now, just checking out the audience. I'm comfortable with them. Okay, I'm fine. Let's roll. We're set to go.
Let's talk about your character in Snatched. You know, I had the two wonderful ladies from the film here last week, and I have to say, you are my controversial take. You're my favorite part of the movie. There is something that you do that you.
I'm gonna record that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Make sure you give me that 20 backstage that
Yeah,
you
sure.
promised.
Go ahead. And so go ahead. What were you saying?
I was saying that Goldie and Amy are just the best parts of the film. They're absolutely wonderful. They kill it from beginning to end. And you show up and you're good, but it's all about Goldie and Amy, to tell you the truth.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said, right? Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Amy, we'll talk.
You guys know that I'm here more than just today and I can get you thrown out, right? Like, you're out of here.
We got Chris now. We got
Bang. These two.
He's not the host.
Is that my time ticking?
That's your time, Tim.
Okay, let's go.
I think
We
that's
have
enough.
important stuff to cover. Let's go.
Let's talk about this character that you play. I would say similar to the kind of character that you play in Wet Hot American Summer. It's a guy who's a bit full of himself, kind of extremely masculine, thinks he's the hero, but there's something sort of broken inside that makes him much funnier than he normally would be.
Yeah, you know, that's funny. I thought of him not even broken. I thought of him as his charm to me was he was relentlessly positive in the face of overwhelming odds, and any reasonable person would go, you're not going to get out of this alive. But he's like, ha ha, it's nothing. And his laugh, it was a laugh to me that, you know, I really became, it was infectious to me. Ha ha! Ha ha! Didn't matter.
I feel you know, you've played heroes before. You've played detectives. You've played also you've been in action films as well.
Yep.
Where is the line between playing that kind of character in a comedic way where, you know, the charm is, or what's funny about it is that he thinks he's this thing, but he's not that thing, and the serious version of that where that person is just that thing?
Yeah, I think the comedic part is they build their own reality. Like a president that I know these days.
Oh.
And maybe that's not quite comedic, but in a way it is. But you build your own reality. That's, to me, the comedic aspect, because everyone else who's a little bit more engaged in reality go, oh, you shouldn't do that. And to them, it's like, oh, that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. I can get away with that.
This is my world, and you guys are just living in it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
How I perceive things is the only truth.
Yes, I will bend the spoon. I'll be okay.
The spoon is bending more and more daily as we talk.
Mind melding, yeah, my way through life.
So how did they approach you to do the film?
They sent me a script. They said, you will audition, because we don't know how funny, if you can be funny. And I went in, and the director laughed at all the appropriate places. I thought that was a good sign.
But had they not seen Wet Hot American Summer? I mean, there are a lot of people who will argue you as the absolute best part of Wet Hot American Summer.
Well, these two stay and those two stay. Yeah, you know, I guess with a bigger kind of studio film, I think you need to check, you have a lot more boxes to check. That's all. They just want to cover their bases. It's a big investment.
Is it weird for you to audition at this point in
No.
your career, or do you still do it quite regularly?
No, because you understand the game. You understand kind of what I just described. I know kind of what the system is and the structure of it, and I don't take it personally. I will say, I mean, there have been times when, and not very many, but it was, here's a script, read it, and you go, okay. I will. And then they go, well, you have to read for it. I'd be like, no, that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. No harm, no foul. But this was, I spilled the water.
That's all right.
I'm going to tear this place apart. Any more questions like that, I'll tear it apart. Yeah, so, the auditioning, it's okay. Get to exercise some muscles that I'm not as used to using.
Well, when you were doing, Law and Order, and you did it for a number of seasons, when you were doing every episode for all of those seasons,
270 episodes.
270 episodes. Did you ever have time to audition or want to do other projects, or were you just kind of like, this is all I got time for now?
Yeah, no, I did Harold and Kumar. Oh, right. I got to do, it was Freak Show in Harold and Kumar. I also played the Grand Dragon of the KKK. Right, thank you.
Wait, what? Wait, what did you play the Grand Dragon in?
Yeah, so I played the Grand Dragon of the KKK. It's when Harold and Kumar.
Oh, in Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, have to dress up as Klansmen, right? And we're having an outdoor rally, and I gave them Tourette's. And instead of just, people with Tourette's will burp out curse words, I had them burp out racial epithets. So I thought that was funny. My spin. So yeah, I did that. I did a play one time in Ireland.
That's right.
Yeah.
Arthur Miller play, right?
I did, yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, fantastic. That was one of the better experiences of my career. It was just lovely. I felt like an actor again. Not that SVU didn't make me feel like an actor, but once you get it down, get the role, understand the system, how they tell the story, you know what you're doing every day.
Well, there's a difference between, showing up to set and doing, a couple pages where you only have a few lines, or
Yeah.
you're just sort of advancing plot. Whereas I saw an Arthur Miller play a couple weeks ago, and it's just monologue after monologue after monologue. It's robust.
Yeah, and you also get to marinate yourself in the character and in the moment, night after night, and just to approach it from different angles. It was just a different way to act.
Did you do a lot of theater before, like, Oz took off and stuff like that?
No, the theater wouldn't have me. And I needed to be able to live in New York City. So I made my bones, at least, getting my SAG card and AFTRA and all that stuff, making commercials. And I was one of the busier commercial actors in New York for about 2 years.
Any particular commercials that you remember?
McDonald's, where I asked the girl out on I pick her up for a blind date, and I go, we're not going to a fancy restaurant, not a maison, we're just going to McDonald's, so it's going to be, and I'm not going to do theater, I'm not going to do a dance show, I'm just going to go to a movie, so it'll be a movie and McDonald's. If you want to come out with me, I'll just be in my plain old car.
Let me guess, she thinks about it, and she's really happy about it.
Of course. And I turn around, I'm like, you're my kind of girl. Yeah.
What was the commercial auditioning like for you? Because that's a skill that lots of people try to learn, specifically that, because it's a way to be a working actor. Was it natural to you?
Yeah, that was pretty natural. Just because the text is just that much, 30 seconds, and it's usually not 30 seconds worth of talking, and so you kind of get a little snippet of what the guy is or what he's trying to sell. Another one was Roy Rogers Chicken. And they were having a special offer, and they're like, ever since Roy Rogers, I'm a street guy, ever since Roy Rogers got this 2-for deal of the chicken here in New York, all these people from Jersey are coming here trying to steal our chicken, right? And I'm out on the street, right, talking to the camera. And in the middle of me talking about it, some guy comes through, he goes, excuse me. I go, hey, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Hey, we got another one here. Like New Yorkers are so rude, they don't say excuse me. So I caught another guy from out of town trying to steal our chicken.
And when did Oz come along in all of this?
Yeah. When did Oz come along? 98?
You were
97.
You'd been done with commercials for the most part by that point, right?
Yeah. About in 89, 90 is when that stopped, and I was, and around that time, TV movies of the week were still in vogue, and it was always and it was kind of a woman-centric, so I always played the supportive boyfriend.
Really?
Or the husband to Valerie Bertinelli, or I'm blanking on everyone's name. Yeah, all those types at that time. Yeah.
Did you ever have reoccurring lines?
Lisa
in those?
Hartman. Lisa
Oh,
Hartman. Yeah, Lisa Hartman.
Did you ever have like reoccurring lines in those movies since they were similar topics all the time, where you would show up and you were the sympathetic boyfriend again, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know how to say that.
Well, yeah, because in every movie it'd be like this. Don't do that to yourself. Very good.
You gotta leave him.
You got to move on with your life.
Now, so then you move on to Oz, and I've interviewed J.K. Simmons a couple of times and people from Oz, and I always ask, like, that show to me, I've seen it a couple of times, looks like one of the toughest things to do for actors. Like, you're always getting challenged on that show, from the sexual situations to the fact that they made a musical one episode. What was the toughest episode for you?
For me, it was very easy. It was very primitive, very animal. With all of these animals, all of these young actors, so they're feeling their oats.
Everyone going method?
A few, like, on my first day on the job, because I came on the second season, one of the actors came up to me and said, I'm at the craft service. He goes, hey, if I don't talk to you, it's not because I don't like you. It's because I'm just so deep into my character.
Did you go?
No, I just went, do what you got to do, bro. I don't care. I don't care, I just appreciated him announcing how method he was. But that was actually rather easy. The most difficult moment for me in Oz, is anyone familiar with Oz? Yeah, so... and so I had a lover, Lee Turgeson, on the show. It was about a prison, and we were, very volatile relationship. And at one point, I had to kiss him tenderly, lovingly, like I loved him, because before it was manipulation, right? I was doing it for a purpose, and that was easy. And to kiss another guy through love. We were so uncomfortable. We just said, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And it was one take. And it was real, because I love Lee, as a friend. But man, it's like, it was intense. If you're not used to putting yourself there in that space because I don't only have, I'm a straight guy. So I just, my natural inclination of love is towards a woman, expressing that physically with a woman. So it was weird. Surprised both of us. We were like looking at each other like, I feel tingly, do you?
That is such a weird moment, I would imagine, because you are doing all of these primitive things consistently throughout the show, and then you're asked to do something.
He turned me, that's the expression.
But the moment you're asked to do something tenderly in the midst of this sort of primitive world, it's hard. Yeah, because
the depth of vulnerability, because I think, it's easy to, always be looking for that, it's a guy, it was so guy. And then all of a sudden, and even the sexuality can be animal. But to then be vulnerable, so you have to strip away a lot of layers. It was like, it's hard enough to be vulnerable in real life, genuinely. You only do it with a certain amount of people. You really do it with your closest of closest. So it was, it was a cool little journey. It was nice.
So Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I'm just moving chronologically through it.
Just
You're
go.
Okay with that.
Go. Fast
we're
forward.
Just running through
Keep
it.
going.
It's your life. 20 minutes right now. We have 6 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Oh my God.
Law and Order Special Victims Unit. What did you think when you first started doing that show? Because it's one of the biggest hits in television history, which to me is always so shocking. Not because it's a bad show; it's a great show, but because it's a shockingly violent show at times. It's about something that you wouldn't expect to be such a hit.
On the face of it, I agree, and that was my impression as well. I thought to myself, how are they going to do the show? I mean, all it's going to do is devolve into Rape of the Week. And they were really smart. They had to tinker a little bit and find just the right amount of personal. How much does the audience engage the detectives in their personal lives and their relationships, and what we're going to show the people every week. And they found the magic formula. And then in retrospect, it was such a no-brainer. And Mariska was the first to touch on it, because as the show started getting popular, she got it immediately. She said, "Don't you get it? You're the archetype father, and I'm the mama. So I'm the nurturer. I'm the one that, so that's a form of protection for people. And then you have the father who's going to get there and kick someone's ass if you F with the woman or the children. It's what people want. They want that sense of justice in this form of violence that is so unjust, because it's usually a stronger element, a man, perpetrating a crime upon the weaker. Not that the women are weaker, but just physically, it's that sense of violence and that sense of violation, right? Because of the nature of the crime. And I was like, God, people yearn for that. They yearn for that, for that worst of the worst perpetrator to get his due. Yeah.
Now, that show has become, or not has become, it really since the beginning has become, every New York actor has done a part on that show. How often when you're in New York City, do you bump into actors who are like, "Hey, I was in this scene with you in season 4," and you're like, "I don't know, there were so many of you."
Bro, it's not New York City. It's I'm in LA, and I was outside at a party, this event. 3 actors said, "Hey, how are you? I was episode 5 in season 7." And I just said, "Dude, 270 episodes later." He goes, I get it.
Are every single one of them like, "Hey, you're so good in interrogation scenes"? Like, so everyone has to do
Or I've had it, you kicked my ass. You chased me and kicked my ass. I was like, okay, great. You're welcome. Yeah.
And now, this is a classic. What about Wet Hot American Summer? When that movie first came out, it wasn't very well received, and now it's a classic. I love that movie so much. Anytime it's on, I can watch and laugh. But what do you remember from the first screening? I think it was at Sundance it first screened.
I remember the first screening in New York City, and I remember sitting there and going, I don't get it. And everyone around us was laughing uproariously. And in that moment, I went, oh, shit, you're now grandpa. This is the new generation. This is a new style of humor that I'm just not hip to. It's a Zach Galifianakis kind. It's an offbeat, other reality humor, absurdist humor. And even though I read it on the page and I knew what it was on the page, I just was like, not quite there yet.
In many ways, it's the sort of new generation's Airplane in the sense that it's always destroying the form that it's existing in.
You're right, and they're taking a piss on all these tropes, So, but I will say that I love it, and every time they ask me back, I love doing it, and I love the character, and I have such a great time doing it. And I thought the Netflix actually, I thought it was great. I thought, I don't know whether it was they matured or I got more immature, but we met in the middle somewhere. I was like, oh, now I get it. I get it a little better now.
Right. Is there any plans to come back? Is there a second season?
Second season in June, I believe.
It's coming out in June.
Yeah, I believe.
That's unbelievable. You guys have already shot it.
Yeah.
How was the shoot?
Awesome.
Yeah. Did everybody make the rounds? Everybody show up?
Pretty much everybody participated. There were a couple no-shows, but
people are from what I understand, it's really
famous
hard.
ones.
BC? You're talking about BC?
I'm not going to say anything further. Tune in, watch.
So now you're on Snatched, and you've done other comedy since then. But do you feel like because of its
weird that my name's not on the poster? It's weird.
No.
What?
Should have really said.
Is that a leftover from when they were here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, go ahead.
We can we add Chris's?
God, this is a thumbnail sketch operation. Can't even just tape my 8x10 up here, will you?
Your headshot.
My headshot. Right.
Right here.
Yeah, let me pull out a picture from my phone. I'm just going to put it up there. Go ahead, keep talking.
So when you get
answering
asked
questions.
to do a movie like this, do you feel like Wet Hot American Summer has kind of worked, and people see you as a great comedian, or someone who can hold his own ground in a comedy movie?
Well, I definitely think it's worked. Whether they, do it as a. Well, pretty straightforward and swarthy, sexy.
You look like you're auditioning to be a lounge singer.
Yeah. Yep, Say what? Thank you.
Snatched, starring
You can
Chris
stay
Meloni.
afterwards, too, if you want. I like them.
You like them? Let's get a question from the audience. Who's got a question on here? Right here.
We got 24 seconds, people, go.
Hi, do you like comedy or drama?
I like the one I'm not doing at the moment. I really, I like I'm getting all drama. I know you. How you doing? I'm getting all drama. Then I like to go comedy, and then vice versa. Switch it on up.
You a grass is greener type of person?
I beg your pardon. I shave. I know. I apologize. I think I'm turning red.
I really want to yes and you, but I don't know where to go from there.
I know, and nor should you. I mean, you got thrown a big curveball. Yeah. You go.
Next question. Who's got a right here?
Hey, Chris.
Hi.
So I was just wondering, like, you work with so many actors throughout your career. Were there any that that you wanted to, maybe work with that you haven't worked with before?
Robert De Niro is the one I've always. Okay, he was the first. He was really the first one that I when I saw Raging Bull and I saw his scenes with Joe Pesci. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. And I'd seen, obviously the old Brando films in his style, which, again, had never seen anything like that. But I had never seen that kind of acting, and I just was mesmerized by it.
There's something about specifically those scenes in that movie when you're a young man and you see those, because I think it's kind of the way that you talk about Oz a little bit. It's so primitive, it's so animal and aggressive and mannish that, I remember being 15, 16 and seeing those and go, holy shit, whoa,
Yeah.
this is incredible. There's so much animosity here. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Next question right here.
Hi.
How is it that you guys just automatically have the microphone? Like they just keep popping up?
This lovely lady right here hands
You?
the microphones, yeah.
You're like the Flash.
I didn't want to stand because I didn't want to block people. What would you say was like your a role that kind of identifies with you most? Like what role have you played that you were like, I'm a lot like that person?
Who do you relate to?
There's bits and pieces. I mean, even oddly enough, like, a Chris Keller from Oz. There's a certain amount of self-loathing that, I think we all have a that thing, that low sense of ourselves that we carry. So I bring that up. That, I think of Elliot Stabler on SVU, and I think, that I want the world as, I want justice. And it galls me when there's not. I mean, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. It makes me crazy. And I think, I carry that to that guy.
Thinking about justice in this day and age right now makes a lot of people crazy. It's like really hard to not think.
We
about
can't
justice
even
and not
we
freak
can't
out.
we can't even get certain people to agree on what truth is, what basic science is. So all of a sudden, Elliot Stabler just pops out of my head.
Regards to still basic human decency at times as well, it feels like now as well.
Yes. Yeah. So let's let's not go. I want to back out of that road. But anyway, so I think it's always a little bit of something in there.
I think that's all the time that we have, Chris. It's been lovely talking to you. Thanks so much for being here, man.
Aw.
Snatched comes out in the theaters this weekend, right?
Yes. Snatched is this weekend in time for Mother's Day.
All right, go see Snatched this Mother's Day. Chris Meloni, everybody.
Thanks for coming.